So that's James's breakfast, and I'm going to be talking about these shows and these books. So I guess I better get started. That's a lot of work to get done. And then if I have time, I'm going to show you something else. Anyway, go ahead, James. I put that so because yesterday it sleeted, and these might melt under our bums and be cold. We'll see. So I tried to dust the snow off, but I suspect that they're icy underneath the snow.
They would be.
So first I will talk about this. James is having some of this. They deliciously dairy-free style Alfredo macaroni. It's absolutely disgusting. I tried some yesterday, and yeah, so bad. But I'm gonna let James, maybe he thinks it's okay, so he'll give you his opinion on it. But I'm very grateful that somebody gave that to us so that I could try it, so I didn't have to go out and buy it and then go, wow, yeah, that's gross. There are loads of delicious dairy-free macaroni and cheese options. Just make a cheese kind of sauce, a vegan cheese sauce. Usually they call for butternut squash or something, but, well, you can find a million online. Just look it up. Anyway.
Okay, does the peas come with it, or did
no,
you check
I mixed the peas in to make it more special.
Yeah, it's special, about as
I know.
special as cardboard.
It's so bad.
Did you notice that the texture is like cardboard? Not
yeah,
that I've
and
ever
it has
chewed
that
on
lingering
cardboard,
flavor of that artificial butter flavor that they stick in like that coconut stuff. It's so gross.
Yeah, the flavor ain't that good. It's
Yeah.
mainly the texture that gets me.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Let's try it again.
The texture was fine for me. It was the flavor that I just couldn't stand.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
the flavor ain't that good, so.
So the first book is The Program, and I had just heard about this NXIVM recently. It's not that long ago, a few months ago. And I was like, what is this about? And then I tried to get a whole bunch of things online, or information online, and books brought into the library for me and stuff to try to figure it out. And one thing that really bothered me is I cannot, for the life of me, find, even through interlibrary loan, I can't get a hold of his book, Keith Renier. How do you pronounce it again?
Ranieri
Ranieri.
is.
Okay.
It'd be something like that.
I can't get a hold of his book, which I guess I think it's called Odin and the Sphinx or something. So how can I possibly give a good review of this material? I can't get a hold of that. It's being kept from the
presumably
public.
from the library. Yeah.
Because
you couldn't even get it on an interlibrary loan.
Instead, I'm just getting books by people who might have something bad to say about.
They might have an axe to grind.
Yeah, it may not be totally believable. I don't know. I mean, from what I gather, I don't think, like, I'd heard it was a S&M cult and all this stuff, and it's like, no, I'm not getting that impression. I don't think that's what it was. I think it's a pyramid scheme. A marketing sort of pyramid scheme. And I think that the government was getting pretty upset because I don't think that Keith Raniere was too keen on paying taxes. I think, this is really... So, honestly, whatever. So go ahead.
There was branding, which is kind of like...
But honestly, I don't know if he had anything to do with that.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
At any rate, it probably not that much worse than a lot of hazing things.
It might have been just like there's this DOS group that they're saying this happened, whatever. And they might be just people trying to tear down the organization. They might be plants. And this whole branding S&M thing might be just not related at all, honestly. I don't know. I don't understand. I haven't gotten enough information to know about that. This woman, she wasn't a part of that whole thing. She was his girlfriend, business partner for 8 years. This is Tony Natale. And the other person writing, well, the person who was really writing, that's really Chet Harden. He's a journalist, right? And so this is her story about what happened. And again, she's an ex-girlfriend. They didn't part on pleasant terms, so I don't know. But
he dumped her. How does it work out?
She left, but anyway. There's a parade of pictures, and I wrote down what each one of them was, and then I tallied up how many, because she was saying in one of the pictures, she says, she writes, there's a number 14 picture of Keith. No face shown. He's doing some sort of stretching or whatever. And she writes, another example of how much Keith loved to have his picture taken. But it doesn't even look like he knew that he was having his picture taken. Like, his face isn't shown in the picture or anything. And I don't get that impression from the photo. So, and from the look, the expression on his face, I don't get the impression he liked having his picture taken. I know my ex, who I think was the same sort of personality type, across like a red with some blue, so that mix, and a genius, and I believe this guy really was, or is. Anyway, and my ex, he did not like having his picture taken. The only pictures I have of him, I did it against his will, really. And I'll admit that. He didn't like having his picture taken. He didn't want any pictures of him, ever. So, the number of Tony pictures supplied in here are 11. The number of Keith pictures are 12. So who likes having their picture taken? I mean, this book is really, it's not really supposed to be about her, is it? Nobody really cares about her. She's just one of the minions or whatever. So, page 10. When she met Keith, she was with her third husband. She'd already went through 3 before she got to him. So, 12. He left high school at age 16 to enroll full-time at undergraduate, or at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. At 22, he earned undergraduate degrees in physics, math, and biology. At 27, he answered 46 of 48 questions on a test given by the Mega Society, and his estimated IQ by them was 170 to 180. So his 200 and whatever IQ was a little bit...
240, I think he was claiming.
Was
a little inflated.
A little inflated. The Albany Times wrote a piece about him June 26, 1988. Page 14, age 29, he founded Consumers Byline with 4 friends. Keith took a girl's virginity. The article says the girl was 12 at the time he had sex with her. The legal age for consent in New York is 17. That's page 27. 28, and that was the girl who said that she had sex with him. She was 12 to 13 years old at the time. So, 33, Tony didn't even finish grade 10. 34, Tony was molested by an uncle between age 4 and middle school. 35, she hadn't had sex with her husband for 2 years before when she met Keith. 46, how can she remember such details like Keith squeezing her shoulder twice and being handed a Dunkin' Donuts coffee and corn muffin? I mean, it reads like a novel. A lot of it, I don't believe. But
it's possible she was taking making copious journal entries day by day, but she should have specified that. 55,
Keith could have lots of sex. He was exceptional. She quoted, this is a quote, he was giving and generous, but also fully in command. So she's not really saying bad things about the sex life with him. 62, mega IQ of 178. Page 86, he demanded sex daily, and if she said no, he'd rape her. That's her
Oh, serious
thinking.
stuff.
I know, but there's no mention of nothing like what I was going through. 95. Parasite strategies. Strategies that keep people dependent on others. Do you want my water
Yeah,
bottle?
I should really go now.
Okay. Do you want to try the bottle? Just put it in your coat and see.
Yeah, I've got to go and
Okay.
upset my back.
Effort strategies create independence and increase self-esteem. People mostly use parasite strategies, keeping them in a perpetual state of dependence. Thanks for drinking your asparagus and bell pepper juice.
Well, thanks for making it.
And low self-esteem. Page 116. Barb told the members that Keith designed the company, but Tony was the sole owner of the corporations. 117. Barb directed the members to cancel memberships and join a new group, the Ethical Coalition. 118. The police marveled at the technological savvy of saboteur. I guess Keith was skilled at writing computer viruses. He destroyed Tony's company. 149. He had sex with thousands of women without condoms. When he ejaculated into the tremulous, this is a quote, mouth of Daniela, the 18-year-old Mexican child prodigy who had never kissed a boy before the rude entry into sexual activity, he asked, "Did you see a blue light? Some girls see a blue light." Anyway, Keith was having sex with everyone in the inner circle in the mid-2000s. So at this point, realize she's out. She's not with him. So all of this is just stuff that she's heard. This is just hearsay. In the mid-2000s, Pam managed the abortions. They adopted a boy. She says no, that was the story told, but the truth was that Kristen Keefe got pregnant in her late 30s, so decided not to terminate and keep the pregnancy a secret, and so then she had the baby. 170, her mom went bankrupt after supporting Tony through her bankruptcy. 171, years later, Kristen Keefe intimated that a private detective staking out my house had poisoned my dog. This is a quote. So she thinks that he poisoned her dog. 173. Scott, new husband, had been catfished by a honeypot and their marriage was over. So she thinks he ruined her new marriage. So that was number 5. 242. She said Keith never tried BDSM with her, and none of his other lovers mentioned it to her either. So, I don't know. After 50 Shades of Grey, Keith started eroticizing the master-slave relationship, and Dos Dominus Obsequious Sororium started. The 8 first-line slaves weren't aware of the identities of the other slaves for a while. Again, this is all hearsay. 243, the Society of Protectors, NXIVM, Society for Men, preached many of the tenets of the Red Pill or men's rights movement, that women were naturally submissive to men, that men should strive to be alpha at all times, women should be faithful to one man, but men should be polygamous. 244, potential slave approached by first-line slave, maintain secrecy by providing collateral. Collateral always involved nude photos, videos. But keep in mind, all of that stuff at the end, it's not, she wasn't there. She wasn't there for that. So she doesn't know. Now, I spilt some of my stuff on me. Dang. You know what? I'm going to clean this off of me, and then I'm going to talk about this book. Stay.